Hello, and welcome to the Core Dog Experience. We're here talking Ohio State Buckeyes and college sports, talking to you from a fan's point of view. So if you're feeling what you're hearing, please hit that like button, and if you just like the content in general, please subscribe. Help a brother to continue to grow on this thing out, trying to do more here in 2024. So let's just get into it. Let's get into the day's actions. Let's get the easy stuff out the way first. Ohio State. That's what they finally look like what they were supposed to look like last week, according to some folks. Even though it was week one, they came out and just totally dominated from the get-go. Defense got the early stop. Boom. Offense went right down and scored. That's what we wanted to see last week. But first game, I tell y'all, first game jitters, had to get some bugs worked out. This is what we wanted to see in week two. How did you improve coming into week two? And you saw it right off the get-go. They just put the foot on the pedal, and they did not stop pretty much for the whole game. Just complete domination. Offense got it going early and often. All the big hitters hit. Jeremiah, Henderson, Judkins, you name it, they hit. So it was just a great way to open a game. This is what we wanted to see from a number 2 team in the nation, given the competition, and they came out and they did their stuff. Wanted to see some improvements along the way. I think the offensive line had a stellar game, and before y'all say it, it's Western Michigan. They were supposed to. This is the same Western Michigan team that was leading Wisconsin going into the fourth quarter. So they came in here with a little bit of confidence, and Ohio State stomped it out. So, yes, it was Western Michigan, but this was still a Western Michigan team that had Wisconsin in a dogfight for a good portion of that game. Not knowing how good Wisconsin is per se, but, still, they gave Wisconsin a tussle. And Ohio State shut that down real quick and did what we thought they were going to do. The defense, again, just totally dominant. Now, I don't care who you play, Western Michigan, FCS, I don't care. You hold a team to under 100 yards of total offense for a whole game. That's saying something. And Western Michigan, they only got 99 yards of total offense. Ohio State got the shutout, 56-0 over the course of the first 2 games, over 100 points and only giving up 6. Is there any hard to find something to nitpick with their performance? Again, some penalties, or the score could have been worse. Score Judkins touchdowns, his 77-yard run got called back, and then Will Howard, his one bad throw. It's probably his only bad throw. His one bad throw cost Jeremiah another touchdown. He underthrew that pass following the holding call that brought Judkins' run back. But other than that, the offense was clicking. Everybody was hitting. Ibuka got going this game. Had to think he had 9 catches as well. Jeremiah had 9 catches. The offense was just clicking, and Will Howard was on. Like, he had the one bad pass. Again, he showed his mobility. The offensive line gave him time. The offensive line opened up holes. I think at one point we were averaging close to 9-10 yards a pop. So that was saying something. That's stuff we wanted to see given the competition. And like I said, they bring up Wisconsin, because if anything, Wisconsin, they got good interior line play, both offensively and defensively, and Western Michigan hung in there with Wisconsin last week. And like the announcer was saying, is there a better 1-2 punch at running back? A lot of folks, Judkins got off to a slow start last week. I think he showed his stuff this game out. A lot of big burst runs. Like I said, he had the big one called back. We had other 23-yard scoring runs on 2 other occasions, and Henderson's just, you see the quickness in Henderson. That's just if he stays healthy all year, which I think he has an opportunity to now with Judkins here, with them sharing and splitting carries, I think he was a welcome addition. The announcers made note that Ryan Day asked him, "Hey, we're thinking about bringing Quashawn in. What do you think about that?" And Henderson was all on board because at the end of the day, it's going to spare him. It's going to spare his body. He's been nicked up the last few years. So if you got someone to come in here and he can alternate in and out, and you ain't losing nothing offensively in the running game, I'm all for it. So I don't blame him for saying, yeah, bring him on board. Bring him on board. Because he's still going to get his touches. Like I said, so the offense was clicking. The defense, again, was lights out. And again, Will Howard, he had the one bad pass. But people couldn't say nothing really. Because they were just waiting. They were just waiting to bounce on Will Howard like they did last week. I don't know what it is with Ohio State quarterbacks and our folks when it comes to these Ohio State quarterbacks, because they are still talking about my man Kyle McCord. Now y'all know, folks who followed me last year, I was a fan of Kyle McCord. I thought he got overly criticized for no reason. I'm sorry, he just went 11-1. You would have thought the online abuse he was getting, he was 1-11, but the dude was 11-1, and the one loss was by 7 points. Of course, it was to Michigan, but you would have thought he went 1-11, and they are not letting it go. Not they just ain't letting it go, and even while he's there, and I'm sorry, I'm talking about Kyle McCord because it keep coming up in the Ohio State fan threads. Like I said, y'all ran the man off. Wasn't no mutuals. Y'all ran them off. I would have left too. But they won't let it go. Today, Kyle McCord had a great game against Syracuse, and they still posting about Kyle McCord. I'll stop talking about Kyle McCord when the fan base stop talking about Kyle McCord, because he had a good day, and I hope he does well at Syracuse. Just my 2 cents on that for this week. I hope he does well, but speaking of quarterbacks, nice blowout. We got a Devin Brown side, and then Devin looked sharp. He came in. I was hoping they let him throw the ball, because that's always been on my thing. When the backup quarterbacks come in, they just hand the ball off, hand it off. But Devin Brown actually looked sharp. The few passes he had, he was on point. The ball had a lot of zip on it, and he looked good. Of course, he didn't have no extended play. We have to see how that works out. Should he get more than 1 or 2 series? Because that's been his problem. He ain't been able to stay healthy, but he looked sharp in the short limited time he was in there. And then the freshman phenom got him a series in there, and I'm glad they let him play too. Let him throw the ball. Don't bring him in. Why bring him in if you don't let him hand off? It's the other team's job to stop us. So I'm glad they let Julian Slayton come in and throw the ball, and I love that play on 4th and 1. I don't care. Hey, 4th and 1. If the grass hadn't tripped him up, he would have got the first down, because there was nobody in front of him. He just fell down. He got anxious or something. But on that 3rd down scramble, he showed a willingness to run the ball. Almost got to the 1st down, and that blade of grass tripped him up. So I'm glad they went for it on 4th and 1, and boom. I love the play call. Fooled out everybody. Benny Christian was wide open. The freshman phenom got his first touchdown as a Buckeye, and hopefully there'll be many more to come should it play out that way. But the team in general looked good. What else can you say? They did what they were supposed to do given the competition. They get a week off, I believe so, and then the next game's in 2 weeks, and they get another tune-up, Marshall. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe Donovan Jackson will be back for that game, but that's all stuff that I needed to see. I wanted to see the offensive line, and they opened up holes. Yes, it's Western Michigan, but this is the same Western Michigan team that gave Wisconsin fits, and we know Wisconsin, if anything, they got good line play. Ohio State, the offensive line made big improvements, and hopefully it will continue to do so as the level of competition ratchets up some. I don't know if Marshall is going to be a step up in competition, but we'll see if the line can be consistent now. You had a good game. Let's see some consistency. But Other than that, what you gonna say about the defense? Other than, can someone out there explain to me what is targeting this day and age? Because every time I think I got it, damn it, I don't have it. Because my man got thrown out of game on a targeting call it wasn't called downstairs. They flagged. They phoned it in from the booth for potential targeting. The referees on the field didn't see it. The call came from upstairs. Potential targeting, and they showed it in slow motion. The announcers even said, "I don't seen it." Dean Blandino, the dean of officiating, he didn't see it. I didn't see it. I know what I used to play ball way back in the day, but I played some football. I know what the crown of the helmet is. At least I thought I did. Homeboy did not hit him with the crown of the helmet. If anything, the running back hit him. I love the day when they actually call targeting on the offensive player, because like this my man said here, what's the defense supposed to do in those situations? I don't know what is targeting. If that's targeting, I ain't gonna even bring it up because it's just bad memories. But targeting in general has not been kind to Ohio State over the years, going way back to, I believe it was Denzel Ward in that Maryland game. I think that was Denzel Ward. If it wasn't Denzel Ward, y'all know what game I'm talking about. It was the Maryland game. I think it was Denzel Ward laid the receiver out. They called targeting, and targeting ain't been kind to Ohio State since. It has not been kind to us since. And this was just another example of targeting. And like, here's the thing: if you're gonna have targeting, and again, this is something that they came up on one of the threads, you need to go to an NBA style of what's a flagrant foul or what's targeting, because you gotta have categories or something. You just can't be an automatic ejection for that type of call to get ejected on when it was borderline at best, and you're gonna throw them out the game. We ain't talking about practice, we talking about the game. You gonna throw about the game on that kind of a call. That was just total. Yeah, they gotta have, I don't know how they're gonna do it, but that was just so foul in so many ways to have him ejected for that type of call, where they didn't see it on the field. This targeting in Ohio State, they don't mesh. Hasn't meshed in a while. So I thought that was just a terrible call. Fortunately, didn't affect the game at all because it's just a level of competition. But in some of these more closely contested games down the stretch, calls like that could sway the game one way or the other if they're going to be doling it out in the fashion that it's getting doled out right now. Because I did not agree with that targeting call at all. But anyway, if someone in the thread knows what targeting is, did y'all see the crown of the helmet? Did y'all? Cause I didn't think it was the crown of the helmet. The announcers didn't think it was the crown of the helmet. Dean Blandino didn't think it was the crown of the helmet. So I don't know what targeting is. So, but fortunately, did not affect the game. All right, so that's Ohio State, Western Michigan. They did what they supposed to do. For all intents and purposes, they look like the number 2 team in the nation, but we know it probably ain't gonna stay that way because the number 3 team in the nation, they went on the road and arguably have the best win this season, given how the teams came into the rankings due to the preseason rankings. They went into the big house and put a big ass whooping. They put a big ass whooping in the big house on that team up north, and it was 31-12, and it wasn't even that close. Really, it wasn't that close at all. 31-12, and you would have thought it was Ohio State playing Western Michigan. That's how dominant Texas looked over Michigan. And like some of the folks coming into the season, Michigan fans excluded, because they thought they were going to be again. They did, a lot of them did. But A lot of folks, a lot of the folks that knows that this is not the same Michigan team that won the national championship. They lost a lot of bodies, and a lot of folks thought they were overranked to begin with, me included. But we gotta let the games play out. Maybe they knew something that the rest of us didn't to have Michigan ranked as high as they did. But no way in the world was that a top 10 team coming into this season, given to everything that they lost. They lost a good portion of their defense, lost a coach, and they it's so easy now because you know the memes that were popping up. You all but show some. You know I but show some. You know it. But losing all that they lost last year, you knew they were going to be a top 10 team because they actually had to do some coaching. They had to do some X's and O's and shit that wasn't given to them. They had to plan some stuff out, and whatever they had planned out didn't work because Texas they bullied them. They bullied them. I said 31-12, and it really wasn't even that close. And Quinn, I can see, why folks are mad Quinn left because he looked outstanding. Our Ohio State folks, they see them, they're thinking what could have been, what could have been. But Quinn, he was here when C.J. Stroud was here. He didn't want to wait. But he looked really good. I put him at the front of the Heisman race as of right now because he has the best win. And he looked really good in doing it. Looked comfortable, looked poised, didn't look rushed. He ate up that defense. If anything, like I said, it wasn't the same defense from last year, but Michigan became known for being the bullies of the defense. And he just looked outstanding against what is arguably still a decent defense, given what they did lose, but he made them look pedestrian. So he looked really good, and Michigan they looked like a deer in headlights because they didn't know what was coming, or they did and they just couldn't stop it. I don't know, but Texas made them look bad. I mean, and then like they were doing a whole bunch of different stuff. They just ran their offense, and ran their defense, and they looked good. Coming into the game, there was issues about Texas' front from last year. You wouldn't have known it heading into this game. And speaking of Michigan, I'm still looking for Donovan Edwards. Wasn't he supposed to be the man this year? Wasn't people like the best back in the Big Ten? Because some people had him rated over Trevion. He wasn't even the main ball carrier in this game. Was Mullins? Where Donovan Edwards? Or is he just have big games against Ohio State? I don't know, but he was absent. Had a couple carries. I think he had less than 10 carries, but wasn't he supposed to be the man this year? And just the offense in general, like someone here, Michigan this year might be the new Iowa from last year. Good defense. They can't do nothing on offense because on offense they couldn't do nothing. They didn't do nothing on offense. They looked bad. Their best weapon was just throwing to the tight end. But yeah, that was not good. And it's not so much the defense just wore down. They wore down. You can't have your defense out there as much as they were out there, and your offense can't pick up third downs. Where they're like 2 for. What was that at the end of the game? Finally, I think before halftime they only had like 2 first downs out of 7-8 attempts. They couldn't pick up first down, so your defense is right back out there, and Texas is just pounding, making plays, staying on the field. Your defense is going to get tired. I don't care if they that good or stout or not. At some point, they're going to wear down if they ain't getting no help from the offense, and the offense ain't giving them no help. So if they don't improve offensively, it was going to be a long year. Now, I had them beating SC in a few weeks, but I don't know if they're going to beat SC, honestly. It might be a long year. Now, I'm saying that with the caveat that Ohio State still has to beat them. Ohio State still don't beat them. It's like, it's going to get thrown right back at us. So Ohio State's going to have to beat them this year. But they look bad. Based on what I saw today, that was not a very good Michigan team. Like I said, folks, it's hard to win. We don't know what's coming. You don't know what's coming. It's hard to win. You actually got to coach it and make in-game adjustments. They ain't do much in-game adjusting against Texas. Because Texas pretty much did what they wanted to do. Like I said, it was 31-12, and it really wasn't even that close. Should they have been a top 10 team? I still argue they probably shouldn't have been a top 10 team. They're given the benefit of the doubt because they're the defending national champion, and more times than not, the defending national champion is going to they're going to get ranked in the top 10, regardless. And speaking so, but it's going to be interesting how it plays out. We thought the Fresno State game was sort of like Ohio State, first game jitters, but they were in the dogfight with Fresno State. Was that a precursor to how this Texas game played out? Some would say yes. So, and we see the results of actually playing a team that's got a little bit more juice than Fresno State. So, this might be who Michigan is. This might be who they are for this year. So, it'll be interesting to see how they are able to turn around, if they're able to learn anything and turn it around. But they weren't the only ones that struggled. They got blown out. They got blown out. Penn State struggled against Bowling Green. These MAC schools and gave a lot of teams problems this year. But Bowling Green hung with Penn State with a good portion of that game. So it's just interesting to see. And speaking of the MAC, brings us to our next team that annually, every year seems to be overrated. Now, granted, they had a great win first week one. They went into Texas A&M, College Station, and beat Texas A&M. So what's that say about Texas A&M? I don't know, but they look pedestrian against Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois. You pay Northern Illinois, what, $1.4 million to go in there and beat you. Oh, here you go. Now you go kick our butts. They had no offense. No offense. 16-14. 14 points. That's all Notre Dame could muster. Again, I don't know what that speaks volumes about what Texas A&M got or don't got, or Northern Illinois just played way above their heads, but that was just bad. That's just bad. 14 points at home against Northern Illinois, who, by the way, that was their first win in the school's history over an AP top 10 ranked team, and they did it on the road. 62-yard field goal. That's what you're trying to resort to win a game when you're favored by 20 plus points, 28 I think it was, if not more. And you're held to 14 points at home. Not good. Not good again. And this is the coach, I mind you, giving Ryan Day stuff with Michigan. Is the coach people wanted to bring into Ohio State, even though he talked bad about Ohio State. We need to bring in Marcus Freeman. Why don't we go get Marcus Freeman? Why you want someone who can't beat Ryan Day? y'all want to go backwards? I don't give this dude you want to bring in to replace Ryan Day, and this was a legitimate thing people were saying not that long ago. Why don't we go fire Ryan Day and let's go get Marcus Freeman? This was after Freeman said some of the crap he said about Ohio State, but hey, let's go get him. Nah, he can't beat Northern Illinois at home with a top 10 team. Ain't like this was supposed to be a good Notre Dame team, and he couldn't do it. He's trying to resort to 62-yard field goals at the end of the game to beat him. So this bad again. Northern Illinois, MAC. Like that, Penn State struggled to get past Bowling Green. Bowling Green led for much of that game until the fourth quarter. Been an interesting year in the first 2 weeks already. It's a lot of surprises. Oregon at the time of this recording, they were still struggling with Boise State at home. So we thought maybe week one was a fluke. Oregon and Idaho. But maybe they not. They need to stay away from these these teams that reside northwest. You know, the Idahos and Boise State. Stop playing the Idaho schools, cause you ain't been looking too good, Oregon. But they're struggling, so we'll see how that game actually plays out. But they're supposed to be Ohio State's toughest competition. Oregon, Penn State, and Michigan, and all of them looked pedestrian today. So if Ohio State can Ohio State's going to get, everyone's going to get better. I get this, but Ohio State, they up here right now, and everybody else in the Big Ten is down here. Surprise team might be USC for my USC buddies out there. If y'all watching, y'all might be the surprise team this year if y'all can play any defense. We'll see. Yeah, but Oregon, unless they turn some stuff around, I don't know. Michigan, they better get them offense or a repeat of like I said. At least last year Iowa had a really good defense and just enough. Well, they ain't had no offense, but that might be what it's looking out to be this year for Michigan if they can't turn that offense around. If they can't get Donovan Edwards going, I don't know how that's going to play out. But Ohio State, at this point in time, looks head and shoulders above the rest of the Big Ten, and USC just might be the toughest competition, which would be interesting. Other games, Auburn. I was telling y'all. This time yesterday trying to talk to big rivalries in college sport, Auburn, Alabama. I was like, that ain't no rivalry. Like I said, Auburn's good every 5 years, and they lose to Cal today, so come on now. Iowa loses their home again to Iowa State, so where's the D? They couldn't get to stop when they needed to stop. A little better offensively, but they lost to Iowa State second. I guess they can't win at home. Iowa lost the last 2 home games to Iowa State, and of course they went to Iowa State last year and beat Iowa State on their home field. So, just interesting day in sports in general. Georgia looked good, Bama looking good. Some of these other teams are looking good, but top 10s are going to be totally reworked going into the next set of rankings, and given what's transpired on the field thus far, y'all know what's going to happen. So don't even sweat it when it does happen. But you know Texas is about to leapfrog Ohio State because they got the best win on the season based on the preseason rankings, no matter how faulty they were. Because Michigan never should have been a top 10 team, but they were. Texas went in there and spanked them easily. So I would very much expect them to leapfrog Ohio State because Ohio State ain't played nobody. And which they haven't. Akron and Western Michigan does not constitute a Michigan who is the defending champion, and Texas won quite handily against them. So do not be surprised. And then like I say, Clemson. I mean, Georgia has to win over Clemson. Still don't know how good Clemson's going to be, but they were ranked at the time Georgia played them. So Georgia had to win over a ranked team. Texas had to win over a ranked team. Ohio State does not. Expect Texas to jump Ohio State in the rankings, and that's just going to be a fact. I'd be surprised if Ohio State maintained number 2, despite how good they look today, because they're going to take into account the competition, and Ohio State ain't played nothing yet. Other folks will tell you that. So just keeping it real, Texas, and they should, because they look dominant over Michigan team who is the defending champion. So we'll see how that played out. But again, like I said, what do you guys think about the play today? Were you more impressed with the offensive line today than you were last week and what they showed against Akron? Again, keep in mind they was missing Donovan Jackson again. I think it was wise to hold him out. As you see, really didn't need him. Let him get completely healthy. Now he got a week off, I believe, and then the next game's against Marshall, and you can slowly work him back in and make sure he's good to go. But I saw a vast improvement from the offensive line. So we'll see how that hopefully continues. And I just liked out what I've seen. I liked what I've seen about everybody that's got an opportunity to be on the field. Still got some penalties they need to clean up. Like I said, the holding call that brought Quishan's run back, but it's hard to argue when you got your receivers out there busting their balls trying to get those blocks in. So it's hard to argue that. And then if we can just, you hate to say rest, but this is like every call when it gets Ohio State. Like every call when it gets their way, when it gets Ohio State. But we just gotta live and grind and live through it. So and like I said, hope none of the calls affected today, but they really do need to do something about that targeting stuff, because that was not targeting, in my opinion. But so it should be interesting again. So if you're liking this, if you're liking the content, liking hearing the stuff from how other fans are saying and what they're reacting to, I try to bring it to you guys and put my 2 cents on some of the takes I see and read. Again, like I said, the Kyle McCord stuff, it just, they won't let it go. Will Howard, they were on him last week. Not so much Will Howard comments this week, so because he had a good game. He had the one bad throw, but other than that, he's been on point. The defense has been on point. Really wasn't, it's hard to find. And you always had that yeah but crowd. We didn't have that. I was looking too. I was looking because that yeah but crowd, they always find something. They always find something to say this season's going to go south. But it was hard to find something today when you come out scoring your first 3 drives. Could have been first 4 drives, but we can nitpick at times. But it was a good game all around for Ohio State. Saw a lot of improvement, especially along the offensive line, and hopefully that continues to improve, because if that offensive line gels and becomes dominant like we know they're capable of doing, yeah, this is going to be a scary team. But be interesting to see how the polls shake out. I do believe Ohio State will drop, understandably so, and I would put them at number 3 right now myself. Georgia, Texas, they got the better wins thus far. See how that plays out. But again, if you're feeling what you're hearing, please hit that like button, and please subscribe. I'll try to comment. Like Will Howard's play, you like the offensive line play. What do you guys think of the targeting? The category, do you like to see the category 1, category 2? You got to do something about this targeting, because targeting has not been kind to Ohio State over the years. So just interested in your comments and your feedback on that. Michigan fans, if you happen to chime in, how do y'all think the season gonna play out? Because y'all did not look good, and y'all didn't look good. I don't know what else to say. Yes, you guys gonna hear about the cheating memes, because that's the first they gonna come up. That's what happens when y'all don't know the plays. Y'all can't stop nobody, but y'all just got bullied basically. But interested to hear from everyone. I try to respond to all comments, good, bad, negative. I try to hit y'all back. So again, please hit a brother up, subscribe, and until next time, OHIO, go Bucks. I'm out.